Right. So, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Tea Talks, a podcast about anything and everything under the sun or whatever comes to mind. Today, the topic is going to be just me talking and vibing and chatting with you guys. Um, I'm just going to be really talking about events that have happened in my life that are very, very memorable, or, just funny stories, weird stories of anything and everything under the sun. It could be about relationships, it could be about friendships, sex, drinking, anything, anything that comes out of my mind. That's what we're going to talk about. Um, I don't remember if I used the mic, this exact mic, in the last episode of the podcast, but I'm using a new mic. I don't remember when I got it exactly, but it's the Elgato Wave 3, so hopefully the audio is better, right? Right? Anyways, regardless, um, let's just think of a random story that I can think of. Um, it's kind of hard to think of stories. Like, I can think of stories, but the only issue is I need to make sure that the story that I am telling, I need to remember to change the name depending on who the person is, and obviously keeping some details out of the story because I can't just like say everything, you know? Um but I guess start off with the story that me and Vivian know all too well. It's gonna be the story of um me, her, and another friend of ours that we used to have, and how we drifted apart and how close we used to be. So like it'll be the origin story of my friendships, how I met them, if I can't remember that. Oh god. Um Up until like the drifting point between us and our friend and how we've been able to stay friends since. I guess it would be one of the more longer stories, but I definitely want to just try and reminisce about that. Um, sorry, my throat is very, very clogged up in mucusy right now. But so I'm going to be telling this story from my point of view, right? Because this is obviously going to be my point of view. Other people remember the story differently. Like Vivian and I remember the story pretty similarly, in my opinion. Like we both agree that we remembered it pretty similarly. But with the third person, with the friend that I'm no longer really friends with at all, um, she remembers it completely different from how we remember it. So we'll start off in the beginning. Um, but middle school, I'm trying to make friends. Forgot how to make friends, fresh seventh grader. And then I make friends with these people in my PE class on a Friday. Um, on a Friday in August. It was like the first week of school, so that Friday it was like a fuck around day. Basically, they brought out all the racks of the basketballs and the soccer balls and like jump rope and other things, and you can just like grab whatever and just like go play for the day, like just for that entire period. Like you didn't really have to learn anything or exercise or whatever. It was just hanging out, meeting people, doing slight athletic stuff with your classmates. And so that's how I met my friends, my girlfriends then. I pulled up with the basketball to this group of people, getting out of my comfort zone, trying to meet some people, make some friends. Because the majority of the friends that I had in elementary school, they didn't go to the same middle school as I did because they moved. So like my best friends from elementary school, they weren't in my middle school, and my actual best friend from elementary school, I moved away from her. So I need to make friends. Stat. And so I approach them, say stupid shit, say funny things, be funny, whatever, act like an idiot, but then they vibe with it. They vibe with it. And that basically blossomed my friendship with a lot of people. That blossomed my friendship with this girl that we're gonna call Fish. Um and Vivian was there, and a few others were in that group as well. So we all had PE the same period, actually, which is pretty fun. So Fish and I actually grew very, very close. Fish, by the way, is not like the tree, like was not in our trio. Fish is a completely different person. But Fish and I got really, really close. I don't like Fish anymore, by the way. Like, I dislike the fuck out of Fish. But back then, she basically became my best friend. I hung out with her all the time. She came over to my house all the time. We talked like every day, all the time. I would always ask her for advice and all this, and she didn't really necessarily give me the best advice, if I'm being completely honest. But being a child, being ignorant, it's life, right? It's life, and you can't do anything about it. And so, I became really close to Fish, and so one day, possibly the next week, during lunch, I was looking for people to hang out with and finding the friends that I made. And then I found Fish. And I found Fish and the rest of their friend group, and they all were like friends from elementary school. So they all hung out together, they all ate lunch together. So I came by and I was like, hey, yo, what's up? Like, can I sit and eat lunch with you guys? Like, basically asking if I can like hang out with them. And they totally were fine with it. Like, the main memory that I remember from that exact moment of me asking if I can come and hang out with them and eat with them is me talking to a random ass girl that I don't know. This is our friend Anna. And I go, hey, can I have some of your Izzy? Fucking first words that come out of my mouth when I like sit down and hang out with them, because I don't bring lunch to school. So I was like, hey, can I have some of your Izzy? They're like, yeah, sure. It's an orange Izzy. Gave that shit to me. I took a little sip. I'm like, thank you very much. Gave it back to them. Pre-COVID, no care for germs or whatever. So that was the first interaction that I really, really had in that friend group. And then from that day on, I just went there to be hanging out with them during lunch. Every day I came back, hung out with them more, became much, much closer to Fish. That's why I went to the mall together and all this and all that, hung out all the time. And then that's when I got closer to Alex. Alex was the friend that was in our trio. Not necessarily going to say anything bad about her, so I don't feel the need to, drop her name or not drop her name. But I got close to Alex. I got kind of close to Vivian. I got close to like all their friends from elementary school, and like I became pretty good friends with all of them. I would say I hung out with them, talked to like each one of them individually at different times, but like I was now like integrated into the friend group, and that was super cool. Like I have never really had a large friend group before, and if I could find a picture, which I don't think I'll be able to because my old Facebook got deactivated, so I genuinely don't think I'll be able to find like the picture of all of us together. Okay, why do I put 2012 and I find a picture from 2014? There were a lot of people. That's all you gotta. That's a picture of my. What the fuck? What is this shit? What's an invitation to a. Okay, I just found a picture of an invitation to my friend's birthday. Oh my god! And something I wrote in Spanish. Whatever, I'm getting fucking sidetracked, but it was possibly like a group of like 13 people. That's a lot of people to me to be in like a group. I have never had a friend group that big before, and to those that do have big friend groups, props to you, but I can't keep up with that. And so I got closer to everybody, and I still stayed good friends with Fish up until high school, and that's when we drifted a lot. Like as soon as like the summer before high school happened, like I barely talked to her. I would say in 7th grade I would consider Fish my best friend, and then in 8th grade my best friend was Alex, and then from 9th grade on, Vivian. I keep hitting my fucking mic. From 9th grade on, Vivian was my best friend. But obviously I had like multiple best friends, but when I say best friend, what I'm classifying it as in these stories is that was the main person that I talked to every single day, that I like tried my best to like hang out with every single day. They came over to my house every single day. I went to their house every single day. After school, we spent time together every single day, right? That's what I am classifying as best friend. Because yes, I did hang out with Vivian a lot in 8th grade. I did hang out with her a lot after, and I did talk to her before in 7th. But it was not like an everyday thing. I not go over to house every day. Like I did go to over like once in a while and all this shit. But no, Fish in 7th, Alex in 8th, and then 9th is Vivian, and then from till now. So those are basically the origin stories of how I met them. But I'll talk more about Fish in another podcast maybe, or if we have time in this one. But we're gonna go back to Alex, right? Alex and I became really, really close friends. I met her through Fish and their group of friends, and we just got super, super close. Like I went over to her house. Her mom literally picked me up from my house. We went to go buy Taco Bell, and she drove me from my house all the way to another city where they originally live, so I can spend time with her daughter. Like her mom fucking loved me, and it was great. I had a lot of fun hanging out with Alex. I have like so many pictures with her, and like she was the sweetest soul. She loved Disney, Beauty and the Beast. Whenever I see Beauty and the Beast, I always think of her. Like I still do. I still have a gift bag that she gave me with a gift in it. Pretty sure for my birthday. And on the outside of the bag, she has a handwritten note, like onto the bag, in her beautiful handwriting. Like I still have that. Like I don't hate her. I have no hate. I have no bone in my body that feels hate towards Alex at all. I don't hate her for us not being friends anymore or whatever. I still care about her a lot. It's just that she doesn't want to be friends with me anymore. It's whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. I got my own friends. I stick with my own friends. She probably won't even vibe with who I am today, so like it doesn't fucking matter. But after middle school, she was not able to go to my high school. She had to go to a neighboring high school that was more close to her area. So then we unfortunately were split. So that's why me and Vivian became really close friends, because in 8th grade, yes, Alex was my best friend. But then, so it's me and Alex being best friends, and then Alex and Vivian being best friends, and then me and Vivian being friends. We still did things all together all the time that they would both be considered my best friends, but I did hang out with Alex and talk to her, I feel like, a lot more than I did with Vivian, but I still did talk a lot to Vivian in 8th grade. So now 9th grade, Alex is no longer in the picture because she does not go to our high school, so I'm spending more time with Vivian. Vivian and I are still keeping in contact with Alex all the time, trying to see her like as much as possible, asking her about her life there, if she's making friends, because everybody from middle school went to our high school. So she now is starting fresh with making friends. She joined the Polynesian club. She's been doing dancing more. She's been doing this. She's been doing that. She's made new friends. She's living an okay life. Finally, the day comes. Sorry, the day comes. She is going to transfer to our high school. So she transfers over from her high school over to our high school. And we were spending time together again. Like every day at school, I can see her, I can talk to her, I can in the flesh, in person. We don't have to go to the mall to go see her and spend time outside. Like I can just be like, oh, let's go. See you at lunch. See you at break. I'll see you at school. Instead of, okay, can we like hang out? Can you ask your mom if she can take you to the mall on Saturday at 3 p.m. so we can hang out for a little bit? No more of that shit. I mean, still that shit, but now it's hang out school, and I miss that so much. And Vivian and I were so happy that Alex was able to come to our school. But that's when the shit started. That is when the shit started. That is when, for some reason, the problem started. Problems. In junior year of high school, that is when I met my high school sweetheart boyfriend, right? I quickly took a liking to him. He quickly took a liking to me, and we were like dating, right? We weren't together yet, but we were dating and we were talking or hanging out all the time. And so I was spending a lot less time with Angel and Vivian. But before that, I'd be hanging out a lot with my friends Kevin and Matt and Nate. I'd be hanging out with my guy friends a lot, but also hanging out with this other group that's filled with weebs. Not gonna name them, but let's name one of them. Fred. I have a coworker named Fred, but that's the first thing that could come to my head. That's not like an actual name in the group. So Fred is this guy that I hung out with a good amount actually. But the only issue is that him and his entire group of friends are all weebs. They like are part of the anime club on campus. They always talk about anime. They are like the weeby kinds of high school boys. Like you could tell that they were more outsiders to everything else except for anime. So they always hung out together in front of this one building. I need to drink something. I might have to pause. Yep. I need to pause. I don't have water in my room. Oh, fuck. Can I pause this? Can I pause my timer? Can I pause my timer? Fuck. Okay, it's paused. Fucking hell. I'll be back. I really fucking need water, guys. Alright. Drink water, bruv. Put another shoe marker there, and let's restart the timer. Okay. So yes, Fred hung out a lot with his weeb friends, and they like hung out all the time, and they're just all fucking weebs. Like you can tell that they're like the weirder bunch of the group, the weirder bunch of people. And so I hung out with them because that's kind of the area that I normally hang out in. So that's why, like, we hanging out. I also had like I shared a tutor with I went to the same tutoring place as Fred as well. So like we became like okay close. I also kind of was friends with his sister at the time as well. But then when Alex transferred to school, she hung out there as well. She hung out with me and Vivian there in that group. And then that's when it happened. That's when it happened, guys. That's exactly the fucking moment that it happened. She took a liking to Fred. Real fucking easy, bro. Real fucking fast. She took a fucking liking. Real fucking fast. So she took a liking. Alex took a liking to Fred very quickly. She hung out there every single day, even if I'm not hanging out in that area anymore. Like Vivian and I are hanging out in a different area, but Alex would still go over to Fred's group and hang out with them, which is fine. Like if you become like good friends with people, you can go hang out with them. But she didn't hang out with us as much anymore, right? One day, I've already met my ex. I've been getting closer to him, and me being a flirty, annoying brat, I stole his phone case and I ran away after class because that's how high school girls like to flirt. So if someone does that to you, they're probably flirting. So I run away and I go meet up with with Alex and Vivian. Too many fucking names. Alex and Vivian, I go meet up with them. I have the case. My ex-boyfriend runs over. He takes it. And for some reason, that same fucking day in front of that building, I remember it as clear as day. But I don't think Vivian remembers it because I told her about it. She just doesn't remember it. But Alex yelled at me. She got mad at me. Don't remember because of what. I don't remember why. I just remember her being upset and leaving. That's all I remember. Clear as day. Me getting there, talking to them, holding the phone case, my ex coming over, me giving it back to him, talking to him for a little bit, and then he's gone. Attention back to my friends. Alex is mad at me. Alex is yelling at me. Alex leaves. I'm in confusion. That's basically the whole scenario. I was like, the fuck? So I was confused from that day on. I obviously started to talk and hang out with my ex-boyfriend a lot more. He and I would sit and eat lunch together, get to know each other a lot more, hang out a lot more during our break periods, because we liked each other. That's the shit that we did. And then on days that I wasn't hanging out with him, I'd be hanging out with my guy friends because I wasn't hanging out with them as much, and I was getting closer to my guy best friends, right? And then Vivian would be hanging out with us because she didn't necessarily want to hang out with the weebs, obviously. And it sucks because my brother is basically like that. My brother's group of friends is basically the weeb group of friends, just younger. It sucks. But then one day, we see something a little funny over there. Because if I were to give you guys, this is only going to be shown on my Twitch stream, so it's for those that are listening. I'm going to try and explain it as best as possible. So the building is on the corner of the campus, right? And so for those that are watching, this is going to be the building. Right in front of the building, there's benches and stuff like that you can sit and eat, or just sit and chill. And that is where Fred, Alex, and the weeb group of friends were hanging out, and that's normally where I hang out, in the front area of this one building. And then there's going to be a pathway further down past the seating area that goes down to the cafeteria. But then along that, there's going to be a wall. But then on the other side of the pathway, there's going to be a grass area. A grass area with trees, another seating area for you to sit and eat lunch. So at one of the tables there, that is where I hung out with my guy friends and Vivian majority of the time. So we'd be hanging out next to the pathway, but still in view and close to the building. And so because we're still close to the building, we can see Alex. We can see her. We can see her and how she's interacting with the weeb friends. We can see her interacting with specifically Fred. And we see the whole showdown go on, yeah? So Vivian and I are just watching her from afar. Pretty sure Alex doesn't even know where we hang out, which is why she didn't notice us to come hang out with us in the first place. But she was getting so fucking close to Fred. They were hanging out, talking and chatting, laughing, hanging out, being friends or whatever. And then she's just casually, my phone's dead, but he's on his phone. And she gets really, really close up and then next to him and looks at what he's doing. So maybe he's showing her something, maybe he's talking about what's on her phone, but she got really, really close, right? But before she got close, she would be inching. Ever so slowly. An inch, to get closer and closer and closer to him until she's right next to him, looking at the phone together. And then Vivian and I were laughing about it because that could not be more obvious, Alex. That could literally not be more obvious. Literally could not be more obvious that you like him, that you're interested in. That is so fucking obvious. And so from that day on, Vivian and I knew Alex likes Fred. I almost had the name there. I had to quickly switch that in my head. Alex likes Fred. And then, no lie, I don't really remember hanging out with Alex that much after we saw that. Not because, oh fuck, I don't want Alex to be with Fred. Like, yeah, I don't want her to be with Fred because I don't like Fred for her. But she just, I just think that she just hung out with Fred a lot. Like, after that, she wasn't really seeking to hang out with us as much. And so then me and Vivian just proceeded to just stay in the same area. We no longer were heading over to the building. Like, Vivian would go over to the building once in a while to talk to Alex, but then she would come back after like 5 to 10 minutes because I think like Alex would just shift her attention to talking to Fred and like the rest of the friend group. And Vivian doesn't really belong there because she doesn't watch anime. She is not close to them, and she's not doesn't really like particularly like them, like or to see them as friends in the first place. And so she comes back over to where I am, hanging out with me and my friends, and that's basically what happens. That's the last time that I can truly remember any sort of memory with Alex, and that really sucks. I remember so other, like many other memories of like us going to the mall together and us hanging out, taking pictures in a photo booth, going to Chuck E. Cheese for her birthday, like all these things. I remember all these good things, but then specifically after that, I don't really remember anything. I don't really remember going out with her anymore, hanging out with her on campus, like nothing like that. I just don't remember it, and it sucks. But then that's around the time that like prom was coming up, and Alex didn't go to prom with us. Alex did go to prom, and I think she just went as a group of friends with Fred and the rest of them. But that's it. Also, my headphones died, are not even playing anything. Um, so yeah, like Alex went to prom with Fred and his group of friends, and I went to prom with my boyfriend at the time, and Vivian and like those people, of course. It was junior prom. I was a junior, so I hung out mainly with like my junior friends, and never once did I talk to Alex at all. Uh, it wasn't necessarily because I don't want to talk to her. It's because that I don't think she ever reached out or tried to get into contact with me again after us slowly drifting apart, of her just constantly spending time with Fred's friends and not really with us, even though we're the ones that wanted you here in the first place. And I was the one that showed you him in the first place. But then like that's it. That's like that was the end of our friendship. So what I remember, which is very different from how Alex remembers it, right? I remember that Alex left us. Alex left me and Vivian. Alex left our trio, our three musketeers, our friendship for a boy. That is how I see it. That is how I remember it. Alex left us to go spend more time with Fred. Alex left us to be with Fred. Alex left us, period. That's how Vivian remembers it. Alex was then in contact with Vivian recently. And Vivian told me about it, of course, saying like, "Hey, yo, hold up!" Alex messaged me like out of nowhere, and it's been almost like 4 or 5 years since she left us. Um, but I'm gonna hang out with her soon, like catch up with her. I was like, okay, sure, yeah. That's super cool. And talk to you and stuff. Like that's awesome. I fucking just like let me know how that goes. My internet's not doing that well right now. What the fuck is this? After that, basically, Vivian tells me that Alex sees that we left her. I don't exactly remember the details because I don't think that Vivian really went too into detail. Um, with Alex about it and about like that situation in high school and stuff. But for my stream right now. My brother. Now I don't know what's going on, but it should be fine now. Uh, my internet just went down for a little bit. I think someone was just downloading something because my Steam isn't downloading anything. Did it download something? Something downloaded at 6 p.m. It's not 6 p.m. That's really weird. All right, another fucking stream marker. Vivian didn't really necessarily go into detail about it with Alex because of how Alex felt about it. Since Alex felt that it was us leaving her, I don't think Vivian wanted to go too much into detail about it. And talking about us leaving her or whatever, because that's not how we saw it. We did not definitely see it as us leaving her. With how the way things were, it's literally Alex just going over to Fred like all the time and not spending time with us. Even though I was in a relationship too, I still hung out majority of the time with my friends on campus, specifically on campus, because because Max at the time would hang out with his friends all the time. So like I would only hang out with him after school and during class. So I didn't like 100% just like dedicate all my time to my boyfriend, but she did. Senior prom, we still weren't talking. She went with Fred as her boyfriend to prom. And then now she goes to some college. We graduated. We didn't even congratulate her at graduation or anything. Like, just stopped talking. We literally just completely stopped talking. But it's super cool that, like Alex is still with Fred till today. I'm not even with my ex at the time, which is fine. Like, I'm happy now. But, like, props to them. But also, it's just like, I introduced them. That's crazy. And it's even crazier that Alex sees that we left her when, in our point of view, like she just stopped hanging out with us. I don't understand how you could see it as us leaving her. She didn't necessarily come over to us. She didn't necessarily try to spend time with us and Fred. It would be her and Fred, period. Not really with us. So that's why I see it as her leaving us. But definitely, you guys can always let me know if you guys feel like we were the one that left her. Like, I always want to see what your guys' point of view of things are. And with that story and those details, obviously biased towards my point of view, do you guys see it as people, as her leaving us or us leaving her? So definitely let me know that. Because yeah, I just see it as Alex leaving us. I remember the story, but I forgot it because obviously for some reason my stream is experiencing some slight technical issues. And I want to play Apex after this, so hopefully I'll even be able to play Apex, but I'm scared. But yeah, that's the story of me and a best friend of mine that no longer is in contact with me. Um, like she doesn't want to talk to me. I don't think so. She never really brought up my name at all when she was talking to Vivian. And the reason why she reached out to Vivian in the first place is because like she misses her. She wants to talk to her again. Like they grew up together. They went to the same elementary school. I only met her in middle school, so like she might not feel as close of a connection with me anymore. But also, I don't have that past with her. At the same time, it's like I too was your best friend, and she always said how much she loved me and all these things, and how like she's super grateful for like us being her best friends and all this. But like I'm not getting reached out to, so it kind of sucks. But at the same time, like I can't complain. I am a completely changed woman. Completely changed woman. And honestly, I feel like I'm worse, but better than who I was before. In ways that a good religious child would not necessarily want to be friends with. Obviously, I was a lot more innocent back then, but still like a fuck around idiot. I did whatever the fuck that she wanted to an extent. But that's basically just a story of me and a best friend that no longer talk. I'm very, very grateful and happy that Vivi and I are still friends to this day. We're still best friends to this day. We go to the gym every single Thursday together. Still chat. It does suck. Like, when Alex stopped hanging out with us and talking with us, I kind of noticed that. Oh, no, yeah, no. Just to quickly address something that was mentioned in chat. When I talk about Alex reaching out to Vivian, that happened 4 months ago. Alex recently, when I say recently, I mean very, very recently, in 2021, reached out to Vivian. And when Vivian brought up the topic of all of us not being friends anymore, Alex sees it as us leaving her. So from junior year of high school till today, Alex feels like Vivian and I left her. From junior year till today, Vivian and I felt like Alex left us. So that is how the situation is. It's very, very recent. But what I was going to say is, like, I feel like Vivian was actually pretty affected by it. I kind of noticed that. I kind of saw that. She was pretty, like, sad about losing her friend. Sad about losing somebody that she was super, super close to. Obviously they're not dead, but the friendship that they had, it was gone. Like, someone that she like held dear to her heart, like, isn't her friend anymore, and that she didn't talk to anymore. And like, whenever she like brought it up and stuff, like, sometimes, like, now it's like a joke, but when it happened in junior year, I think Vivian was actually pretty sad about it. So I will never have the answer in regards to why, like, why, Alex, why do you see it as us leaving you? Like, give me more information. Why? What did we do to make you feel like we left you? What did we do? What did we not do? Right? What did we not do to have you stay with us? Like, why do you think we see it completely different from you? And what's so special about Fred that you stayed with him for so long and that it kind of costed our friendship? Like, there's so many questions that are always going to be unanswered for like everything in life, but those are definitely some questions that I would like to ask her, but I'm not going to fucking reach out to her. I have had the urge in the last 3 years to reach out to her and talk to her. I have. I swear on my life I had. And be like, hey, Alex, how have you been? I haven't talked to you in forever. I hope you're doing well. Like, I really want to catch up and I miss you. Like, I don't hate you. I definitely do want us to be friends again, but I feel like with that much lost time, it's going to be a lot harder for us to be friends again. That's what I'm afraid of. That's why I never actually like sent a message. That's why I never actually contacted Alex. Because I was afraid of the fact that she no longer wants to be friends with me. She holds so much of a grudge against us that she doesn't want to be friends with me anymore. That she just dislikes me or never liked me in the first place. You know, there's always like those like deep dark kind of fucking, you know, thoughts that you have and stuff, and that's why I never really actually reached out to Alex. But moving on to another topic, we'll talk about this funny story. This funny, stupid fucking story about fish. Because I love to shit talk fish. Because I don't like fish. So Fish, again, for a quick recap, is a person that I was best friends with in middle school. And then we like distanced ourselves. But when I was in 8th grade, going on to 9th grade, it was the um end of the year field trip, and we went to a adventure adventure what? That's not the word I'm trying to fucking say. What the fuck I'm trying to say? An amusement park. We went to an amusement park, like a whole class. It was super fun. In 8th grade was like our whole class. When I say class, I think it was all of the 8th graders. That makes sense, right? It was an all 8th grade field trip to the closest amusement park to us. And there I hung out a lot with this one guy. Let's call him. I'll just name him another coworker. Danny. Let's name him Danny. Right. So Danny, he and I were already friends previously. So this is like 8th grade. I have had a boyfriend before. I had a boyfriend named Daniel the year before, so I can't say Daniel. But I was thinking of just a name. But Danny was in the friend group that I was in, and we all hung out together. We all like chilled or whatever. And he has a crush on like every single fucking girl in the group. Every single fucking girl in the group. It's the funniest thing. And then it came my time that he had a crush on me, you know? It was my time to shine. You know, I was the chosen one among other chosen ones because he crushes on like so many girls at the same time. But he was crushing on me, and I feel like he crushed on me a lot more after the trip, or like at least during the trip, because I was like really nice to him throughout the entire trip. And boys are super easy in elementary school, middle school. When you're like mean to them for an entire year, and then during the end of the school year trip, I'm usually super super nice to all the guys. Reason being because I am on a field trip, so I'm just like nice to everybody, and I just want to hang out with everybody and make friends with everybody. I have no hate for anybody. And also it's just like fun to be, you know, nicer and sweeter and more fun and attention giving to boys, because then like they like hang out with you and they're like, oh, she's being nice to me, oh my god, I think I like her. Which happened multiple times in the past. So I was doing that again, but also I just literally saw Danny as like a good friend of mine, because he was a good friend with everybody else. Like he went to elementary school with everybody else. And so I hung out with Danny a lot during the amusement park trip. And then after, on the bus ride back home to our middle school, he wanted to walk me home because I'm walking distance away from my house. I'm walking my middle school is walking distance from my house. And so he walked me home, but like kind of the long way, if I'm like, oh no, we walked the way that he would be able to get home as well. So we walked like this other different way that like if we walked this other way, I'd be home and he'd just be walking home alone. But instead we just separated and we'd walk portion of the walk to our houses alone. I don't fucking know why he did that. But when we were there, and like the part of like the departing of each other, he was like, yeah, get home safe. Just don't tell anybody else that I walked you home, you know, because like they're gonna make fun of me. I'm like, no, I won't tell anybody. Fucking ran my ass home to get some fucking Wi-Fi on my iPod, and oh my god, Danny walked me home, and I think he likes me. Fucking immediately, bro. I fucking broke my promise because it wasn't even a promise in the first place. I straight up ran, told all my friends, yeah, Danny walked me home, and I explained everything, what we talked about, how he was acting and all this and all that, because, you know, gossip's fun, so that's why we did it. So I gossip and all that shit about my walk with Danny, and then it was basically the end of the school year after that. Yeah, it's buffering pixels. My internet is not the best right now for some reason. um After that, oh, the school year didn't actually end yet. After that, I think there was still like another week left of school, but during that week I talked to Danny a lot more, and we just like hung out, chilled, along with the rest of the group and stuff like that. But like now everybody knows that like Danny has a crush on me and stuff, and that like Danny walks me home, and Danny was all like suspicious on the walk home and stuff. Um, but then what had happened was Danny, like on the last day of school, messages me on Facebook and says, "Hey Tiana, I don't have the messages anymore. Danny sounds like an asshole." Danny is not an asshole. Danny is actually the sweetest fucking person, and just very, very misunderstood. No Danny slander in my chat, y'all. But he asked me out through text, through Facebook Messenger. Funniest thing, since my Facebook got deactivated again, like I don't have those messages to look back at, and Vivian can't even look at them because I am like my entire user is deleted, so all of my messages with her are deleted, and pretty sure I have sent them to her and Fish, right? So after I get that text from Danny saying, "Hey yo," like being all embarrassed and stuff, and like, "Oh, like I kind of like you, and like I just wanted to tell you that I liked you, and all this and all that." And so when he messaged me that, I immediately, because Fish was my best friend, still kind of, even though that doesn't really fit into my timeline, but I was still pretty close friends with Fish. And to Fish, I text her and I'm like, hey yo, Fish, Danny just said that he likes me. Danny just said that, like that he likes me and that he likes me a lot. Like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Should I tell him that I like him back? Should I like try and date him? Should I make him my boyfriend? Like asking all these questions. She goes, because Fish liked Danny, right? Fish liked Danny. Fish liked Danny, but Danny never liked Fish. I genuinely don't think Danny ever liked Fish. But I told Fish, and Fish, I guess even though like she liked Danny, she's like, yeah, no, go for it, yeah, go for it. And I was like, okay, sure. Just the fucking worst fucking advice to fucking give me, because I had no feelings for Danny. I practically was playing him in the beginning, right? I was practically playing him. I had no feelings for him. I was just like saying that, like, oh yeah, like, oh really, you like me, I kind of like you too, and like talking to him and all this, and like literally like calling him every single day on FaceTime, talking to him every day, messaging him every day, basically dating him. And then he asks me to be his girlfriend, and I say yes, and then I actually start developing feelings for him, and now I actually have feelings for him. So even though I didn't originally have feelings for him, I did end up getting feelings for him, and then I lost feelings for him because I got feelings for somebody else. But that's just like, all over the place. Um, uh, but Danny was super sweet. I did kind of traumatize him a little bit the whole event, but we're not gonna talk about that. That's not something that I want to relive. But Fish, horrible advice, horrible choices. She makes very, very bad choices. She, very, very similar to Danny, crushes on everybody super quickly and prefers them to be older. Like freshman year, she always had crushes on juniors and seniors, sophomores, just seniors, juniors, still seniors, and then in senior year, it was just celebrities because she's not caught up with anybody in college, right? One day, she goes and volunteers for this thing. If I go too in detail, it's gonna be a little bit obvious of what it is, but she goes to volunteer at this thing. And another friend of mine, I'm not gonna name, I will name her Nebula. Nebula, like from Guardians of the Galaxy, right? So Nebula and Fish went to volunteer at this thing for a week. And during that week, Fish meets a guy that also was volunteering at the thing. We'll just call the thing a festival. We'll say festival. It's not a festival, but we'll just say festival. So, yes, Nebula and Fish and other people were volunteering for a week for a festival, right? And at that festival, Fish meets a guy that was also volunteering for the festival. And so throughout the week, she was getting to know. I don't even know what his fucking name is, so I actually have to come up with a name for him. I'm gonna name him Nebula and Fish into the festival. Yes, I will name him Michael. Right, Michael. So Fish takes a liking to Michael, and Michael Michael doesn't really show any interest at all in Fish, but then Fish is fucking blind. She's fucking blind, fucking cannot see, fucking blind, that he doesn't like her. But she's still pushing and pushing and pushing, trying to get at him or whatever. And then finally, he kind of gives in, and he's like, "Yeah, no, we can date. We can go on a date." So after the festival's over, they go on a date together. But they go on a date together to a show that was at our high school that was like a performance by the Vietnamese club on campus. So the entire show is in only Vietnamese, right? The show is only in Vietnamese. So Fish asks Nebula, "Hey Nebula, Michael and I are gonna go to the VSA show on this day at this time. Do you want to come with?" So Nebula was like, "Yeah, like Nebula's good friends with Fish, so like they all went together." And throughout the entire show, because there is no fucking English at all in the performance, not a single lick of an English fucking word other than names, maybe, the entire fucking time, Michael and Fish look over, like every single fucking time. Hey, Nebula. Hey, Nebula. What are they saying? What's going on right now? Hey, Nebula. What's going on? What are they saying? Whole fucking time. Whole fucking show. Nebula can't even enjoy the fucking show. She can't even enjoy the show. She understands every single fucking word that's going on, but she's gotta think it in her brain, translate it to English, and spit it back out to them. And disrupt the whole show. Not really disrupt the whole show, right? But like possibly maybe even like disrupt the audience that's around them. Constantly having to explain and translate every little thing that's going on, all the jokes, all the scenes and all this and all that in the skit. Like she's gotta explain everything. Like obviously there's like dances, like show off traditional Vietnamese dances and all these and all that, where there doesn't necessarily need to be any translation, but for the majority of like the talking part, she constantly had to translate to Fish and Michael. After that whole fiasco of an event at the performance, Michael ghosts Fish. Michael ghosted Fish. Michael literally ghosted Fish. Period. Done. Gone. Ghosted her. Blocked her. Did not want to talk to her again. Fish was so fucking sad. But I find that so fucking funny. Like, why the hell would you make your first date a performance in a language that you both don't understand at all? And tag along a friend to translate the entire show for you. Like, that is idiotic. That is majorly idiotic. Majorly idiotic. So, yeah, that's Fish for you. Fish likes to do a lot of things that are based off of her own enjoyment and pleasure, and doesn't really necessarily do too much, I would say, that is good for other people. Very, very selfish, in my eyes. A very, very selfish person. She's a leech. She definitely is a leech off of Nebula's, like knowledge of Vietnamese. It's not the first time that she has done Nebula wrong, if I'm being completely honest. Like I might be able to talk about Nebula like more about Nebula and Fish in like another episode of Tea Talks. Since we are getting close to time. But Fish is a fucking asshole. I fucking hate how much of a leech she is and how much she treats Nebula like a fucking doormat. And I'm glad that they don't talk as much anymore because Nebula should be treated better. But yeah, so Fish, if you're listening for some reason, suck a fucking dick. Thanks for being my friend for a while. I appreciate the memories that we made, but at the same time, you're not the smartest. You take advantage of a lot of things, and you need to be a lot more grateful about the fucking shit that you have. 100%. You're so fucking spoiled. You're spoiled. You're very, very spoiled. Your parents don't even have that much money. You're so fucking spoiled in so many ways that are like externally from materialistic. You're just so fucking spoiled. But yeah, I don't like Fish. Alex left us, me and Vivian, and Nebula needs to be treated better. Basically. But those are basically all the stories that I can kind of go over right now because all the rest of them are gonna go like for a little bit longer. So I do want to talk about like me being friends with people again, like more relationship stories, stupid funny stories, like sex stories. I didn't really get into those. A lot of other things because the Alex story like obviously went on for a little longer because I did want to explain a lot better. But I've lived in the 20 years I've been almost 21 years I've been alive. I have experienced a lot, have been through a lot, have talked to a lot of different people, met a lot of different people, had a lot of experiences that I feel like should have happened in my 20s and not when I was 18. 18, 19, I should not really have had those experiences, but like here I am now. Obviously gonna continue always learning from my mistakes, always learning from my experiences, and always gonna be trying to get better and not making those same mistakes again. But that's my life, and I'm glad that I'm living it. Obviously, there's a lot of things that I'm always gonna regret that I wish that I've never done, that I wish I never did, that I wish I could just go back in time and never do again. Like maybe with that whole Alex situation, like if I did something different, if I didn't really like try to talk to her even more, maybe like try and hang out a lot more with her and Fred, maybe I'd be still closer to her. Maybe talk to Fish like in her fucking face and telling her all these things instead of just like saying it in a fucking podcast that she's not gonna listen to. Maybe she'd change faster. Maybe she'd be a lot more appreciative of life. Maybe she'd treat people a little bit better. Maybe she wouldn't like think she's all so high and mighty as a fucking psychology major, but leaving psychology major to become a voice actor. Whatever. I don't see her going too far in life, which is a really, really mean thing to say, but like just none of the careers that she's trying to go into are not for her because of the type of person she is. But if she succeeds, proud. Good for her, right? That's proven me wrong, and that should be enough motivation for a person to, do great in life. But yeah, this is where I'm going to be ending today's podcast. I did experience a little bit of technical difficulties, so I will have to look over the footage again to see if this is going to be in any way perfectly salvageable for uploading in any other place. Because obviously I always care about quality. But this is going to be another podcast. I appreciate everybody that listened to some stories that happened in my life about, me before stream, me before college, me before changing into a more better and aware person. And with the people that I experienced and were friends with in life. I still appreciate all the people that I've met. I still appreciate all of the experiences that I've had, all the memories that I've made. But then again, if you're not here with me now, that is okay. If you ever want to reach out to me, you can. If you feel like our relationship isn't the best, just bring it up. Then we'll fucking fight about it, and then we'll be friends maybe, depending on how the fight goes out. But I'm always gonna have open arms for everybody, as long as you guys realize my point of view, and I'll try and understand yours. Of how we drifted apart, how we hate each other now, or whatever. But of course, there's always gonna be some people I'm forever gonna fucking hate, like Fish. Forever gonna always hate Fish. And a lot of other people from high school. Fuck high school. So glad that I'm almost out of college too. Fuck yeah. But don't forget that I will be doing Tea Talks on twitch.tv/Teaonalamb, Teaonalamb, every other Tuesday. If you ever want to be on the podcast, let me know. Send me a DM on Discord. And we can talk about what topics you guys want to talk about with me on the podcast. That'll go on for about an hour or whatever. Don't forget to check out my socials, as well as checking out my ExpressVPN affiliate link for you guys to get 3 free months when you guys subscribe for a year. So don't forget to check that out. It's expressvpn.com/Teaonalamb. So go check that out if you want to help a girl out. Really, really appreciate it. They're great. I use them all the time. It's pretty pog, but I don't want to go too far into it. But definitely check it out. Go to the link, expressvpn.com/Teaonalamb, Teonalamb. Go follow my Twitch. Go follow my other socials. Everything is going to be at Teaonalamb on all socials. Check me out, and I will listen or talk to you guys on the next podcast. Hope you listen in. Bye. Bam, bam, boom, bing, bong, boom, bam, bing, bam, bing, bada, 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 bada.